It's week 14 of the high school football season, and after 3.5 months of games, only the St. Mary's Rams and Pleasant Grove Eagles are still standing. Today's winner will be crowned Division I Sac Joaquin Section Champion. It's the third final in 5 years for St. Mary's, while Pleasant Grove is only in its fourth year as a school. Will it be the Rams or Eagles getting the championship banner? We'll find out next.
The following program is a presentation of Comcast's SJTV. San Joaquin Television. SJTV.
Welcome from Amos Alonzo Stagg Memorial Stadium on the University of the Pacific campus for the Division I Section Championship, part of the CIF Sac Joaquin Section Les Schwab Tires Football Playoffs presented by Farmers Insurance. It's the St. Mary's Rams and Pleasant Grove Eagles, a couple of 11-2 teams on 8-game winning streaks playing for the title. Hello everyone, I'm Eric Alves. St. Mary's is back in the title game because of a potent offense averaging 39 points per game, while Pleasant Grove is here due to a stout defense and a strong running game. In Pleasant Grove's 3 playoff wins, they've given up a total of 37 points, while Michael Madkins has continued his strong running. Madkins could go over 2,000 yards on the season today, and he's really stepped up his game since starting quarterback Taylor Congdon went out for the season with a knee injury 7 weeks ago. During that time, Madkins has averaged 167 yards on the ground while scoring 2 touchdowns on average. Madkins is part of a Pleasant Grove defense that will try and slow down that strong St. Mary's offense, led by senior quarterback Cody Vaz. Not many teams have done that over the last 2 years. Vaz has thrown 59 touchdowns while going 23-4 as a starter. In last year's section championship, Vaz threw 5 touchdowns, albeit in a loss to Napa. He hopes to go out a winner here as a senior. It's the Rams and Eagles for the title next on the Comcast SJTV Sports High School Football Game of the Week. A glorious Saturday in December for football, St. Mary's and Pleasant Grove. The Rams making their third appearance in 5 years in the Division I Section Championship game, winning the title in 2004 against Nevada Union. Last year, losing to Napa by 2 points. And back here again, while Pleasant Grove, in just their 4th year as a school, 3rd year playing varsity football, they're in the Division I Championship game for the first time. There are the Rams, I mentioned, losing last year to Napa. Had they won that game, they most likely would have gone on to play for the Division II State Championship. There is Tony Franks, the head man for the Rams. I asked him about the state title aspirations this year because there's a real possibility if the Rams win, they could play for the Division II State Championship this year. He said, we weren't focusing on it this year. Last year, we felt like it was a little bit of a distraction, so we just put that out of our minds. We know it's a selection process. All we can control is to try and win the game against Pleasant Grove, so the focus for the Rams all week long has been Pleasant Grove and winning the Division I Section Championship. If they get to the state title game, it's gravy. It would most likely be either St. Mary's or Casa Roble out of Sacramento going to that Division II State Championship right now. According to Cal High Sports, they are the number 2 and number 3 team. Valley Christian's number 1, but they lost their section final, and you must be a section champion to advance. The Rams come out in the green. They are designated the home team. It alternates from one year to the next. They are from the south, and Moses Villarreal will kick off to Pleasant Grove in the white and blue from Elk Grove. And we are underway in the D1 title game here in 2008. The ball bounces at about the 19. Jalen Saunders on the return. He doesn't get very far, maybe about the 24. And that is where the Eagles will start on offense. And Jalen Saunders is going to play quarterback. He started the year as a receiver, but Taylor Congdon, their starting quarterback, a knee injury in week 7, out for the year. And so it's been Saunders and also Garrett Heisinger, a sophomore. Hastings, the fullback. Ahmed, the X, the Z is Von Check, and the tight end is Kevin Harris. A win last week over Laguna Creek to get Pleasant Grove to this point. On first down, a run with Michael Madkins. We're going to see him a lot tonight. Scott Coppervies on the tackle. About 5 there for Madkins as we give you the offensive line for Pleasant Grove. Couple of guys battling injuries, but they're going to go here in the final. Nanez, along with Kendrick, Zauzig, Beebe, and Cerny. Kendrick, a concussion 2 weeks ago against Nevada Union, did not play last week. Beebe dislocated his elbow against Jesuit in week 10 of the regular season, but he is getting it out. Josh Banks in on the stop for St. Mary's as Madkins maybe gets a yard, so back-to-back carries for him. Looks like it'll be 3rd and 4. We quickly give you the St. Mary's defense. Up front, Josh Banks and Malou Penatani, Carlo Codogno, and Shannon Clark are the ends. The linebackers, Sanguinetti, Saris, and McGowan, who has a cast, a broken hand. He's playing through it. There he is, number 5. And in the secondary, it's Hurst and Joshua, the corners, Harper and Copperviza, the safeties. 3rd and 4. For Pleasant Grove. And it's a 3rd straight time with Madkins, and he is turned back. Shannon Clark was in there. Also Penatani and others for St. Mary's. There's Carlo Codogno as well. And Madkins looks like no gain on that play. So 3 straight runs by Michael Madkins. No surprise there, as he has been the workhorse for the team. In fact, he had a game this year against Folsom when he had 45 carries. And so that D-line doing a nice job for St. Mary's, and will force a punt by the Eagles. Greg Williams, the punter, gets the low snap and kicks it away. Josh Harper trying to run it down, and it'll bounce out at the 27. About a 48-yard kick. Nice job there by Williams, and no return. Harper's taken a couple back for touchdowns this year. So St. Mary's comes out on offense. We'll give you the Ram offense. Maurice Housden. We'll also see a lot of Ray Guyton there in the backfield. Joshua Harper, Louis Lekic, Alex Michaels, and Chaz Smith in the 4 receiver look. 1st and 10, St. Mary's at about the 27. Little play action by Vaz. Wide open is Louis Lekic. Lekic up to the 35, maybe the 36 before Von Check makes the tackle. Looks like it'll be about a yard shy. Lekic has been great in the playoffs for the Rams. 22 catches, 323 yards, and a couple of scores in the previous 3 games. Quickly, the offensive line. Left tackles Evan Fletcher, left guard Nick Alonso, Jordan Carls the center, Hayden Schatz the right guard, Josh Banks the right tackle. 2nd and a yard. Harper on the fly sweep. Has the first down, does Harper. He's upended again by Von Check, but that's a couple of tackles now by the strong safety. And so Harper about 10 on that run. The junior, multi-dimensional player for St. Mary's. We give you now the defense for Pleasant Grove. Up front, the nose guard is Trevor Dixon. The tackles are Zauzig and Rodriguez. The linebackers on the inside, Peter Kelly and Darius Poe Reed. The outside, Kevin Harris and Obadiah Johnson. Wide open again is Harper. He'll move up the field near the 40. So that's twice now where St. Mary's receivers have been wide open. Madkins forces Harper out. But that's a 14-yard play, and that's far too easy for the Rams so far. The rest of the defense, the secondary for Pleasant Grove, the corners are Wade Hampton and Michael Madkins. He has to go on each side of the ball. Does Madkins, Williams, and Von Check. So 5 two-way starters for Pleasant Grove. St. Mary's has 2, and Banks and Harper. 1st and 10 at the 40. St. Mary's, their opening drive of the game. 4 receivers. Michaels goes in motion. It's Ray Guyton on the move. Guyton close to 6 there. Coming off a strong game last week in the win at Merced in the semifinals. Went for 104 yards on 17 carries. Scored a couple of touchdowns. Battled a neck plexus injury, or nerve plexus, I should say, but affecting the neck and also his arm. There's Guyton with the first down, up near the 26 now. So back-to-back runs by Ray Guyton. Started the year as the main back in the backfield, 580 yards so far. Then, of course, when he had the nerve plexus injury, Maurice Howes, the junior, came in and played so well. First and 10 at the 26 for the Rams. On the move, Vaz under some pressure, trying to get rid of it. Now he'll go down. Obadiah Johnson gets to him. A loss of about 3 on the play. Last week, Johnson had 2.5 sacks in the win against Laguna Creek, and the Eagles had 4 as a team. Joe Catalico, the head coach for Pleasant Grove, said getting pressure on Vaz one of the keys to the game, as many teams have said against St. Mary's. Second down and 13. 3 receivers to the left this time for the Rams. Vaz stepping up, overshoots Harper, was deflected for a moment. Williams in the vicinity, and so it brings up a third down. St. Mary's was on the move, but then the sack and now the incompletion has derailed things. Can really hear the wind in the background. It's a great day for December, but the wind is a bit of a factor, as it was last year in St. Mary's game against Napa. 2 receivers to each side this time for the Rams. Out of the gun, trying to set up a screen. Floating it for Guyton. Gets a block from Alonzo. Fletcher in front as well. Guyton to about the 19. He gets 10, but will be about 3 yards shy. And so it's 4th and 3, and what do the Rams do? They go for it or they try a field goal. Their kicking has been a little sketchy the last couple of weeks. Moses Villarreal and Louis Lekic kind of sharing those duties, and it looks like they're going to go for it. 4th and 3 from the 19 for St. Mary's, their opening possession. Harper goes in motion. He will take it, running to the right. He has some work to do, trying to turn the corner, and he's able to. Harper gets inside the 15 to the 14. He got 5 when he needed 3. Nice effort there by Harper, because for a while it looked like he wasn't going to be able to turn the corner, but uses that great speed to get to the outside. He played in this game a year ago as a sophomore, had 3 receptions for 70 yards in that loss to Napa. Takes a good hit at the end from Von Check. First and 10 at the 14 for the Rams, after they convert the 4th down. Run with Guyton again. He'll get near the 10, about 4 there. So Guyton already 3 carries and a reception. And you look back to that screen on 3rd and 13. He got 10 to make it doable there on 4th down at 4th and 3. 7.5 minutes and ticking here in the opening quarter. Vaz looking to the end zone, and Harper a little too long. Von Check in coverage there for Pleasant Grove. Watch it again. And Harper had a step, but Vaz overshoots him a bit. Vaz 3 for 5 here in the early going. Has completed 72.5% of his passes in the playoffs. 58 for 80, 849 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 3 picks coming in the postseason. 3rd down. Vaz pumps once. He's rolling, and Kevin Harris gets him. There's 2 flags, though, maybe a face mask, possibly. We'll get our first call of the afternoon from Rich Ellis, our referee.
Foul, face mask.
It is a face mask. Rich Ellis, his final game officiating after 21 years. Here's the play. Vaz had all kinds of time, but couldn't find anybody open, and you see, yeah, Harris got a piece of it there, and it's the personal foul. So that'll be 1st and goal. Well, let's see. They're going to call it 3rd and about 2. Actually, it's a half the distance situation. 3rd and about 2, I beg your pardon. There's Harper on the outside. 3rd and about 2, it's Guyton. He's tackled by Chris Zalzig, and I'm not sure if Guyton got it. Under 7 minutes to go and moving here, so it's 4th and a yard. St. Mary's are going to go for it again. Let's see if Vaz keeps it. They go to the line quickly, and nobody was there defensively for Pleasant Grove. Look at Vaz. The pile's still moving down to about the 1. And St. Mary's has done that on numerous occasions this year. In Pleasant Grove, they weren't lined up defensively, and that was an easy yard, and you see St. Mary's gets 4 out of it, and they're bringing in, it looks like their jumbo package, which has almost been automatic in short yardage situations. Jordan Davis has 12 touchdowns out of that package in the last 7 games. There is the last play on 4th and a yard. And Vaz gets 4. So here they come to the line on 1st and goal. Vaz keeping. They don't toss it back to Davis. And it's a touchdown. St. Mary's scores with 6:25 to go here in the opening quarter. It's Vaz on the 1-yard keeper. Usually they'll pitch it back to Davis, but Vaz just follows Jordan Carl, the outstanding center. And St. Mary's scores first. A 14-play drive. That's what Pleasant Grove wants to do. Time of possession, keep the ball away from St. Mary's. St. Mary's, though, converts a couple of 4th downs. They go 73 yards. The personal foul on the face mask certainly helped. Here they're going for 2. It's Vaz throwing to Lekic off the swinging gate. And they caught Pleasant Grove off guard. We have seen that from the Rams. They did it earlier this year in the regular season against Lincoln when Chaz Smith threw it to Lekic. But that was Vaz. It was snapped to him with everybody to the left side of the swinging gate, and then he throws it to Lekic for the 2-point conversion, and it's 8-0. So Tony Franks and the Brain Trust, there is Coach Franks in his second go-around as the head man at his alma mater. 10 years in total. This is his second run at St. Mary's as the head coach. 7 years in total. 64 wins, 24 losses, 5 out of 6 section semifinals, and now 3 out of 5 section finals. Winning in 04 against Nevada Union, losing last year to Napa. And here again in 08, and his team responds with quite a drive there, taking up nearly 4 minutes, converting a couple of 4th downs. And Vaz gets the touchdown, his 7th rushing touchdown, all of the short variety. His future head coach, Mike Riley of Oregon State, is here for Cody Vaz. Vaz, of course, wanted redemption in this title game this year, gets back here after losing last season. He did throw 5 touchdowns in that game a season ago. Villarreal, another short kick. It's Saunders at about the 24. Jalen Saunders at midfield. Saunders might have a chance. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Jalen Saunders as he goes 76 yards. Huge return there for Saunders, a guy who grew up playing for the Junior Rams, was slated to go to St. Mary's, but then his father, Walter, as was chronicled in the Stockton Record this week, got the freshman coaching job at Chavez, so he went over there. Then his father got valley fever and became very ill, moved to Elk Grove, and now playing for Pleasant Grove. And Saunders, a huge play for the Eagles. Williams for the point after, that's good. And it's 8-7 St. Mary's with 6:14 to go in the opening quarter. Saunders had an 80-yard kick for a touchdown against Laguna Creek during the regular season. He goes 76 right there, shows his speed. His father, Walter, former standout at Tokay and at Delta College. And you can see right about there, nobody's going to catch Saunders with the speed. He's a junior, battling back from a serious concussion he had early in the year against Elk Grove. And Saunders, yep, right there. West had a bit of an angle, but Saunders, the speed just too much as he's able to take it in. And that's exactly what Pleasant Grove needed after they didn't look so good on their first offensive series, went 3 and out. Then St. Mary's kind of controlled it, moved it down the field. And Williams to kick it. And it'll be a touchback, booming kick there by Greg Williams. St. Mary's will have it at the 20, and Pleasant Grove with a loud contingent here about 30 miles away from Pleasant Grove High School. certainly enjoying this run for the Eagles. Last year, Pleasant Grove, their first year as seniors, they went 10-2, led by Deontay Williams, who went over 2,000 yards, was the newcomer of the year this year in the Big Sky at Northern Arizona, and Armand Armstead, who's now at USC, so some talented guys, more of a team overall effort this year. Maurice Howe's now in at running back. We'll see him and Guyton, a little straight arm to get him about 4 yards. Howes has had a fine season, as we mentioned. Guyton kind of started the year as the back, then he was battling injury. Howes came through, 1,170 yards, 13 total touchdowns coming in. 2nd and 6 from the 24. Vaz trying to step up, and he's going to go down again. It's the combination of Peter Kelly and Obadiah Johnson. Johnson has come through already. It's about a sack and a half now. It looks like he and Kelly might split that one. Kevin Harris was right there as well. So Pleasant Grove doing a nice job putting some pressure on Vaz. That was a loss of 3. And so it's 3rd and 9, and you see some momentum maybe shifting here. After the kick return by Jalen Saunders. Vaz takes the team to the line. This time, 2 receivers to the left, 2 guys in the backfield. It's Lekic and Guyton for the Rams. Looking to float it to Lekic. Has a head of steam. First down and more. Nicely floated by Vaz. Obadiah Johnson in coverage. Angelo Galindo, an assistant coach, went down, but he got back up. A 14-yard play to Lekic. That's the tail end of it. Lekic, a couple of grabs already for 23 yards. Vaz 4 of 6, 47 yards. Looking to Harper. About 5 right there. Harper had to kind of go to a knee to make sure he had the catch. Had he been able to stay up, probably could have run for a while. His second catch now for 15 yards. Quite a combination, he and Lekic as receivers. And you see, just kind of had to make sure he got the ball first. Good job, of course, to catch it before taking off with it. 2nd and 5 at the 40 for the Rams, leading by a point, 8-7. Clock nearing 4.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Not much doing there for Guyton. Darius Poe Reed. On the stop, looks like no gain. 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5 for St. Mary's. Have to get just across the 45. Out of the gun for Vaz, as he almost always does. Firing Michaels. Couldn't hold it. Pass was a little behind him, but not much. It goes incomplete. And it looks like it'll bring up a punting situation for St. Mary's. Not going to go for it on 4th and close to 5 on their own 40. There it was, a little behind Michaels.
Number 17, Alex Michaels back in the punt formation for the Rams.
And so Michaels will punt as well. St. Mary's will change up their alignment a bit. Saunders set to return the punt, just return the kick for a score. Michaels goes off the side of his foot and out of bounds right near the 42. An 18-yard punt. An 18-yard punt. And so Pleasant Grove with nice field position, trailing just by a point.
The CIF would like to thank Farmers Insurance for its support of high school athletics.
A few seconds under 4 minutes here in the opening quarter. And you see it take that sideways bounce. 1st and 10. Heisinger in at quarterback, and he hands off to Saunders. Saunders on the fly. Here goes Jalen Saunders. At the 30, Saunders cuts it back in, and he's down to the 17. A 41-yard run, so Jalen Saunders, a huge impact in this game. against some of his former youth teammates. Saunders that time didn't line up at quarterback. It was Garrett Heisinger in, and he took the fly sweep. Watch him go in motion there. He takes it, and using his speed to turn the corner. Here's Pleasant Grove, 1st and 10 at the 17 of St. Mary's, trailing by a point. Michael Madkins slipped for a moment. John Sanguinetti covers him up. Maybe a 2-yard gain. Now, of course, the field is in great shape. University of Pacific women's soccer team plays here, and then there was a section championship game last week, Division 5, between Hillmar and Central Catholic. A little bit of rain this morning and a few sprinkles, and that's about it, but the field looks as good as a grass field can in December. 2nd and 8 at the 15 for the Eagles, down by a point, but on the move right here. Out of the eye. Von Check in motion. Fake to him, up the middle, Madkins. He's hit pretty quickly by Scott Copraviza. Copraviza, his brother Nick, a starter last year for St. Mary's. Scott's 3rd on the team in tackles. Madkins ends up falling forward for about 3. We'll call it 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5. With the clock moving. Underneath handoff back to Von Check. He's going in for the touchdown. Russell Von Check from 11 yards out, and the Eagles lead. Kind of an underneath reverse, if you will. That's the bread and butter play for Pleasant Grove. They've used that all season long. Here's Greg Williams for the point after. He's already made 1 on the season. He's 35 of 43, and he's made 18 of his last 19. Von Check holds. Kick is good. Remember, the goalposts are about 5 feet more narrow here at the University of Pacific, a college stadium, than they are at the high school stadiums. 23-4 for the high schools, 18-6 here at Pacific. And so off the 41-yard run by Saunders to get the drive going, Von Check scores on the 11-yard underneath handoff. It went to Madkins first, and then Von Check has the touchdown, his 5th of the year, his 4th rushing. And the Pleasant Grove Eagles take the lead at 14-8. And it looks like it's going to be another barn burner in the D1 final. These games have been very close since the turn of the decade. There's Joe Catalico kind of in the middle of your screen without a hat, the head man, just 34 years of age. The only coach Pleasant Grove has known, 3rd year as a varsity coach. The first year, of course, they just had sophomores, 26-9 though. His father, Butch Catalico, longtime head coach at Los Gatos High School, just won his 10th section championship. Joe bidding for his 2nd, won one at Overfeld High School in San Jose. That's Guyton on the return. Will be close to the 34 for St. Mary's, but the Rams got off to that 8-0 start, and then the next kick was returned for a score by Saunders. St. Mary's had to punt, and then after 4 plays, it's Von Check scoring on an 11-yard touchdown. St. Mary's a little tighter formation this time, nearing 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. They'll toss it this time to Harper. Doesn't like the right side. He'll try the left. Pretty well contained by Pleasant Grove. Kevin Harris does a nice job, and Harper's going to lose a couple yards on that play. Well done by Harris, and Harper's down as well. Might have been tackled awkwardly, not sure. And you see Harper down, the leading receiver for the Rams, over 1,000 yards receiving, 65 catches coming in. Also use him as a runner as they tried to there. He loses 2 yards. That was well played by Harris. You see Harper tried the right side, comes back to the left. And then, yeah, his leg got kind of underneath Harris there a bit awkwardly. And Harper is still down right now, being attended to on the sideline. This is from up top. And you see he's going to get his leg caught underneath. Yeah, right there. It's awkward, no question. Of course, a key guy for the Rams, maybe outside of Vaz, the most important guy on offense. And there's the sideline, and Harper's still on the field. His father, Willie, played in the NFL for 10 years with the 49ers. There's Kevin Harris looking on, the man who made the tackle. Now Harper's up. We'll see, though, he's getting some help walking off the field. And we'll see if he's able to return for the Rams. 2nd and 12 facing St. Mary's. Down 14-8 from the 32. Smith on the reception will be close to the first down. Let's see on the spot. Chaz Smith. Now a guy like Smith or Alex Michaels are going to have to step up. And let's see how the officials spot it. That is enough for a first down, it looks like. Yep. 12-yard reception there by Chaz Smith. Had a huge touchdown late in that second-round playoff game against Lincoln. 25 grabs coming in for Smith. 1st and 10, St. Mary's at the 44. Vaz looking down the field to Michaels, kind of a jump ball. Well defended there by Madkins. Madkins at 5'6", going against the 6'3" Michaels. Does a great job. Michael Madkins had a couple of interceptions in the second-round playoff win for Pleasant Grove against Nevada Union, one of which he took back for a score. And St. Mary's certainly likes that matchup with the size there of Michaels, but he's a sophomore going against the senior, Madkins. 2nd down and 10. Ray Guyton cuts it back inside. Not too much doing there. Well defended by the Eagles. Charlie Rodriguez, the junior defensive tackle. We'll say just a yard, 3rd and 9.
3rd and 9 for the Rams.
Harper still being worked on near the team bench, so he's not in there. 3rd and 9. Trips to the right-hand side. That's the way Vaz looks. To Lekic. Has the first down. Turns it upfield, and Louis Lekic to about the 37. An 18-yard pass plan. Lekic, the one guy, he doesn't need to step up. He needs to play as he's played all throughout the postseason. Locked in there with Von Check. That's a great matchup. And Lekic, 18 yards on that play. On a 3rd 9 situation. That's his 3rd catch already for 41 yards. Lekic averaging 7 catches for 108 in the postseason. And has 59 on the year now. Play action by Vaz. Looking deep down the middle to Michaels. Pass sails a bit. Russell Von Check in coverage.
Intended for number 17, Alex Michael. Defensive coverage in there for the Eagles, while the Brandon Williams brings up a 2nd and 10 for the Eagles. Make that for the Rams at the Eagle.
This will be St. Mary's 26th play of the first quarter. 26 plays. Pleasant Grove has had 8. Of course, the kick return was part of the reason for that. Here's Michaels. And it seems like Pleasant Grove giving a lot of space to the receivers. Wade Hampton bumps out Michaels. But that's close to a 9-yard pickup. It's going to be 3rd and 1. 8 for 13 for Vaz. For the season, 66% is completion percentage. Last year, 65. Very accurate. There's Harper being worked on. You see his shoes off, so it's around his right ankle area. 3rd and a yard. Final 10 seconds of the first quarter. That's a first down by Jordan Davis, the short yardage specialist. Davis gets 6 or 7 there on what looks like will be the last play of the first quarter as Davis heads off the field. And that will do it for the first quarter, 14-8. Pleasant Grove on top. St. Mary's, though, trying to retake the lead. We'll step aside and come back with the start of quarter number 2. The Rams and Eagles in the D1 title are already off to a good start here on Comcast SJTV Sports. Quarter number 2. Here from Amos Alonzo Stagg Memorial Stadium. St. Mary's ran 28 plays in that opening quarter. They have it here 1st and 10, trailing by 6. Maurice Howes cuts it back across the grain and has a nice gain near the 16. Darius Poe Reed brings him down. There's 6 for Howes. Last week against Merced, Howes 55 yards and a score. Did have a fumble, though. Guyton was the main man, as I mentioned, 100 yards. 30 seconds in to quarter 2. Vaz takes it out of the shotgun. Almost intercepted by Russell Von Check. Would have been a fine play. The intended receiver was Louis Lekic. Von Check, couple of interceptions on the season. Great read on that. And you look at Von Check and Michael Madkins, maybe the 2 best players for Pleasant Grove. Certainly Saunders in the conversation, both at 5'6". But they have huge hearts and are very good players. So 3rd and 4 after the incompletion.
34 for the Rams. Ball resting at the 17-yard line of
3rd and 4 near the 17. St. Mary's trailing by 6. They scored first, but Pleasant Grove has scored the last 2 touchdowns. Vaz, the screen, coming back to Howes. All kinds of room for him. Howes breaks a tackle down the sideline. Maurice Howes, first down inside the 5. Looks like he'll be near the 2. Second time we've seen the Rams run that screen. The first time it was to Guyton. Howes and Guyton also have good hands out of the backfield. You see the comeback the other way, and look at all the room there. Good look at it. And so the ball at about the 2, where it's 1st and goal for St. Mary's. 1st and goal from the 2. Toss goes back to Davis. Jordan Davis is in, his 13th touchdown in the last 8 games. And we are tied at 14. There's J.D. Willis, the offensive line coach for St. Mary's, doing a nice job. Is the O-line. Last time, of course, St. Mary's went for 2 out of the swinging gate. And it looks like this time they'll just go with the PAT. Vaz going to hold. Chaz Smith has held much of the season. Moses Villarreal made his first 21-point afters. Just 1 for his last 4, though. And he has that one. And St. Mary's takes the 1-point lead. 15-14 Rams with 11:07 to play in the first half. A 12-play drive there for St. Mary's. About 3 minutes. There's the touchdown to Davis. That play very reminiscent to what Bellarmine does. And St. Mary's, you look at their schedule, just 2 losses to Bellarmine, who won their section championship and are being considered for the Division I state title game, and also to Central Catholic, who lost their section final on this field last week. St. Mary's has won 8 in a row since that loss to Central Catholic, rolling through most people, but 2 tough games on the road each of the last 2 weeks. At Lincoln, winning by 1 in come-from-behind fashion, down 12 going to the 4th, and went to Merced in the mud last week and won 35-24. We'll give you Pleasant Grove after the kickoff here by Villarreal. The return never really matriculates. It's bobbled there by Kenny Taylor at about the 12. And we'll quickly give you that schedule for Pleasant Grove. They too have won 8 games in a row. Now, one of those was a forfeit. They lost to Florin. That has become a win because Florin had an ineligible player, a 5th-year senior, and you see all the wins for them, some impressive ones in the playoffs, beating Nevada Union 2 weeks ago. They also beat Folsom at the end of the regular season, a team that was previously unbeaten. 11:04 to play here in quarter 2. Eagles down by a point. Madkins.
Number 3, Michael Madkins, carrying the football straight ahead.
Just a couple. Hasn't had too many chances yet, but that's already his 6th carry out of 9 plays. for Pleasant Grove. There's whistles and a flag stopping this one. Rich Ellis will give us the call.
Illegal procedure.
Second penalty against Pleasant Grove.
5 yards in.
The Eagles, that's a 5-yard penalty. That'll put the ball at approximately 10 yards.
And so we're looking at about second
Where they'll have it.
and 13 now for the Eagles. Second and 13. Pleasant Grove's other loss that we showed you, Del Campo, the 1-point loss, he lost to Elk Grove early in the year by 6. There's Madkins, nothing doing. Sanguinetti over there, John Sanguinetti, who broke his hand, just had his cast taken off. I'd say no gain on the play, 3rd and 12 upcoming. There is one common opponent. St. Mary's beat Jesuit in the opener 52-0, and then Jesuits in the Delta River League with Pleasant Grove. Those teams played in week 10, so hard to compare them because there was so much time in between. Pleasant Grove won 20-7. 3rd and 12 here for the Eagles. Saunders under center. Von Check goes in motion. It's Madkins on 3rd and long, and absolutely nothing doing there. That whole interior for St. Mary's, Capravisa coming up to help. Josh Banks as well, the outstanding two-way lineman. And, of course, St. Mary's has been much better in that interior since they got Malou Pinatani, who went to St. Francis High School in the Bay Area, played there as a sophomore and junior, transferred to St. Mary's, wasn't academically eligible for the first half of the season, but has played now in the last 7 games. And so a punting situation here. Williams almost was blocked. The return by Chaz Smith at the 46. Darius Poe Reed all over that. And what a nice job by Greg Williams. 2 very good punts so far. That was about 37 on the punt. But Pleasant Grove, their defense back on the field. They've had 2 3-and-outs. Only 11 total plays. St. Mary's, this will be their 33rd. Still 9:09 to go in the first half. And St. Mary's does start on Pleasant Grove's side of the field. And I don't see Harper on the field, so the Rams still going to go without him. Vaz, look to the left, now comes back to the left. Nothing doing, finally drops it off to Michaels, and Michaels has a first down. Kelly the tackler, Peter Kelly, but Michaels will get about 13. Up to the 33, Alex Michaels, his second reception. And the Rams have so many skilled receivers. Of course, they would love to have Harper on the field, but they have other guys who are certainly capable. Maurice Howes on the carry. Breaks one tackle, then kind of lunges forward up to the 28. Von Check was the first man to get to him. Looks like 5 there for Howes.
Stopped in there by number 1, Russell Van Scheck. Pick up a 5, make it 2nd and 5 for the Rams.
And so St. Mary's going with some more 2-back sets and 3 receivers. Davis up the middle. He's so effective, and looks like he will have enough for a first down. It's very close. I asked Tony Franks about the jumbo look. That wasn't a jumbo look there, but he said, yeah, we really felt during the summer we had to have a package where we could pick up yardage in short yardage situations. And Davis has been the short yardage specialist as he does get the first down. 1st and 10, St. Mary's. Now at about the 23 of Pleasant Grove, leading by a point. Vaz, all day. Across his body, Michaels went up to try and get it. What a play by Michael Madkins. Madkins, again, giving up about 9 inches to Michaels, and he goes up to swat it away. It was a tough throw for Vaz. Across his body, showed some good arm strength to even get it close. And look at the time he has all day. Across his body. And Matkins swats it out of there.
Second and 10 for St. Mary's.
On 2nd and 10, Smith holds on to it at the 15. So as usual, Vaz really mixing it up. That's an 8-yard pickup. 3rd and 2. It's a couple of catches for 20 yards for Smith. Rams snap it in a hurry. And it's Jordan Davis again. He'll be close. I think he has it at first look, but we'll have to wait and see. Davis is becoming Mr. Automatic in the short yardage situations. Let's see, Rich Ellis taking a look to see if it's a first down, and he will signal so. First down. So there's Vaz moving the team down the field. In his varsity career, has thrown a touchdown in 25 of 27 games. He's had 17 multi-touchdown games. Davis a touchdown run and Vaz a touchdown run for the 2 scores for St. Mary's. Maurice House on first down. Brought down by Donnie Pettinger is House, as well as Mason Hastings. To the 9, a pickup of 4. 2nd down and 6. St. Mary's going on this drive without Joshua Harper. He's on the sideline. Shoes are back on, trying to stretch his ankle out, it looks like, in his leg. 2nd and 6. Howes turned back after a yard or so. Pettinger again, who was a starter early in the year, but playing as a reserve and doing well there. It is about a yard gain. 3rd and a long 5. 3rd and a long 5 for St. Mary's. They'll bring in Justin Cox. There's number 18, the sophomore, coming on. And they'll go with the 4-receiver look here. 3 receivers over to the left for Cody Vaz. Just 1 receiver to the right. On 3rd and 5. Vaz throwing as he's hit. Deflected. Intercepted by Von Check. Von Check has a chance to take it the distance. Howes maybe saves a touchdown at the 35. Vaz threw into some traffic. It was deflected a couple of times. Then Von Check bobbled it, and he returns it out near the 35-yard line out of the end zone. A huge turn of events there. Russell Von Check, his 3rd interception of the year. You see Vaz was hit as he threw. It's deflected there, and then Von Check himself bobbled it, but he picks it off. And for Vaz, the 5th straight game he's thrown an interception. The Rams have turned it over 3 times in each of the last 2 games. That's their first here. Had a chance to go up potentially by 8, but now Pleasant Grove with Heisinger in there. He hands off to Madkins, who went in motion. John Saris, a nice tackle there for St. Mary's.
Stopped in by number 47, John Saris.
Saris, the leading tackler for St. Mary's. Another in a long line of good middle linebackers playing for the Rams. Sam Maffey recently, along with Alex Cook, now an assistant coach, and Luke Mazgay. You see there's the bobble. Nice hands by Von Check, who's just an all-around talent for this Eagle team. And I thought he had a chance to return it all the way. Maurice Howes, of course, great speed, runs him down. And see, if it's not Howes, then I think he scores. So Heisinger, the sophomore, in there. He was called up after the season-ending injury to Congdon, and there's going to be some movement, I believe, on Pleasant Grove.
Dead ball, procedure.
And so the 3rd against Pleasant Grove. There's Josh Harper. You see him on the sideline. Of course, they always say when a guy doesn't have his helmet with him, it means he's probably not going to go in anytime soon. Of course, St. Mary's is on defense. 2nd and 14. 2nd and 14 after the penalty. Now, Madkins only 9 carries for 15 yards so far. A guy who's gone over 100, 10 out of 13 games, and is approaching 2,000 for the season. Rams have been all over him defensively. Out of the eye. It's the deep back. Marshall this time.
Number 26, Scott Marshall carrying the football.
Scott Marshall, 38 carries coming in.
Picked up about 4 yards on
He got back the penalty yardage, so it'll be 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10. Pleasant Grove hasn't been able to get much going on offense with the exception of the one drive, and that was really due in large part to the 41-yard run by Jalen Saunders.
35-yard line.
3rd and 10. Saunders going to try and run for it. Jalen Saunders. First down and more. Saunders to the 40 and run out of bounds near the 36. That's a 30-yard run. So Saunders, a one-man wrecking crew here for Pleasant Grove. That's a couple carries for him for 71 yards. And he has a kick return for a touchdown of 76. Saunders, a guy who grew up playing youth football for the Junior Rams, the St. Mary's youth team, and then now doing it against some of his former teammates and friends. 1st and 10 at the 37. Von Check goes in motion. Fake to him. Straight up the middle, it's Madkins. Tripped up by John Sanguinetti. To the 33, 4 there for Madkins. Louis Lett gets in there defensively. Remember, Harper's a two-way starter, so not only do the Rams miss him on offense, but also on defense as well. Madkins still not able to get going, but Saunders has for sure. Jalen Saunders had to move from receiver to quarterback when Taylor Congdon got hurt against Sheldon. Hasn't thrown it much, 24 passes coming in. Fumble. Let's see, St. Mary's saying they have it. And do the officials concur? They do. And it's Sanguinetti, John Sanguinetti, who comes out of there with it. The fumble, I'm not sure if the ball ever got back to Saunders. And so each team now with the turnover. There's Sanguinetti, just had his cast taken off. That probably didn't hurt in recovering the ball. You see it's on the ground. I don't think it ever got back to Jalen Saunders. And so the Rams now at the 32, 3:24 to go in the half. See, Saunders was scrapping for it, but it was already gone. And Sanguinetti, he's taped up, but no cast. 1st and 10, Rams. They have the full complement of timeouts. Maurice Howes, brought down by Peter Kelly. Kelly, a very good player. Leading tackler for the Eagles. About 3 there for Howes. 2nd and 7. Clock not yet a factor, but it will be soon, nearing 3 minutes to go. In the opening half, St. Mary's leading by a point. They got a 2-point conversion. That's the difference right now. 2 receivers to each side. Vass trying to step up. Nothing doing there. He's got to get rid of it. And he, luckily for him, goes out of bounds. Pettinger over in that area. And Charlie Rodriguez, the man that forced out Vaz. And Vaz is lucky he wasn't sacked. The clock would have kept running. And so the clock stops, a gain of a yard or so. We'll say 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6. Clock did stop. 2:44 to go. No Harper still for the Rams on the sideline without his helmet. 2 receivers to each side. Lone back is Howes. Screen to him. Gets a block from Alonzo. Howes making some moves. He'll have the first down and more, nearly to midfield. Up to the 49, a 13-yard pass play. The screens have been huge for the Rams. That's 3 now that have gone for good yardage in the first half. And some nice blocking. Alonzo, a big block that sprung Howes a bit. As St. Mary's still on the move. $12 for 20 now for Cody Vaz. Howes doing it now offensively for the Rams to the 45. Ethan Winslow, the tackler. Pickup of 6, 2nd and 4. Rams going in a hurry now. They're no huddle all season long, but not necessarily hurry up. They can move it down the field pretty quickly here in kind of a 2-minute offense. They do have the full complement of timeouts as well, and still not afraid to run it, as you can see here. Look at Howes, first down. Madkins, a nice tackle because Howes had a chance to run for a long time. That's a first down. A pickup of about 11 as Maurice Howes is really getting it going for the Rams. Went for 229 against McNair. 146 in that playoff win against Lincoln 2 weeks ago. After the chains will reset, the clock going again, 1:40 and ticking for St. Mary's. As you see the end of that run by House. Still have the full complement of timeouts. They'll probably start to use them here pretty soon. 1st and 10 at the 34. St. Mary's by a point. Fake to Howes. Vaz floating it back the other way to Lekic. He's got to try and get out of bounds. And he does, and he gets the first down and some extra yardage. Nice tightrope walk there by Louis Lekic. To the 20, that's 14 on the reception for Lekic. Coming up big time again for the Rams as he has all season long, and more specifically in the second half of this season. That's 4 catches for Lekic for 54 yards. Plenty of time for the Rams at 1:19 now. 1st and 10 just inside the 20. Vaz all day, throwing to Lekic. Dives in. Touchdown, Louis Lekic. 19 yards with the dive at the end. And St. Mary's adds to the lead. And let's see if St. Mary's will kick the PAT again. Villarreal made the last one.
Villarreal, number 35, will attempt the extra point out of the hole of number 12.
Jeff Tellis is the snapper. Vaz the hold. Villarreal. And he's good, so his confidence is back, no question. And the Rams up by 8. They were up 8-0, then down 14-8. And back up 22-14. Here's the touchdown. Vaz had time. Look at Lekic come underneath, and with the dive at the end. Back-to-back grabs for Lekic. Now 5 in the game for 73 yards. Has the touchdown. He has scored, has Lekic now 5 touchdowns in his last 6 games. He's had some monster games in the playoffs. 9 catches against Lincoln, 7 for 132 and a touchdown against Los Banos, and last week against Merced, 6 for 79 in a score. There is Tony Franks trying to win his second section championship, won it in 04. Feels like his team is playing close to their best football of the season. Said a few turnovers the last couple weeks, the one thing he'd like to get rid of. They did turn it over once on the interception by Von Scheck, but they got it back. And with 1:12 to go, Rams are up 8. They'll also get it to start the second half. Villarreal, the sophomore who came up from the soccer team. Nice kick. Taylor on the return at the 5 for Pleasant Grove. Taylor on the move. Breaks the tackle. Here goes Taylor to the 40. And Chad West has to make the tackle. So the kick coverage has not been great from the Rams. They give up a touchdown. That's the 3rd kick return for a score they've yielded this year. Michael Easter of McNair returned one against them, and also Dexter Akala of West. Of course, Saunders here earlier this afternoon. That's been one of their bugaboos for the Rams this year is kick coverage. So the ball at the 40 for Pleasant Grove. They have the full complement of timeouts. The pass is caught by Madkins, but it's going to be for no gain. And that's the first pass attempt now. In 17 plays for Pleasant Grove. And they're huddling here. They may be content to just let the first half run out. Now they take a timeout. But they let a lot of time run off there. And so not surprising, Pleasant Grove, since Taylor Congdon went down in that 7th game against Sheldon, they've only thrown 40 passes in their last 7, kind of counting that Sheldon game because he went down early in it. And Congdon, through the first 6, had thrown 83 passes. He was the starter last year as a sophomore, so of course an experienced guy. And when you lose him, that means you have to go with Saunders and his speed or bring in Heisinger. There's Joe Catalico talking with his offensive guys. He's the O coordinator and D coordinator. Played at Lee High School. Didn't play for his father except for an all-star game. His father, as I mentioned, Butch, the head man for a long time at Los Gatos High School. Joe Catalico, 3 years as the head man at Overfeld High School in San Jose, then 5 at Independence, and now the first coach at Pleasant Grove High School. Went to Princeton, didn't play football, but very intelligent guy. Reminds me a little bit of Mike Johnson, the former head coach at Lincoln. and Franklin of Elk Grove. Younger coach coming in, having a lot of success as well. There is Josh Harper. You can see him still on the sideline. But the Rams getting it done without him. Lekic coming through, as he has all season long. Michaels, Smith as well. And, of course, Rams still have Cody Vaz, which is key. The athletic director at Pleasant Grove is Jeff Caton, former head coach at St. Mary's. So there's an interesting side note. In 87 and 88, he, in fact, followed Tony Franks the first time around for Coach Franks. 2nd and 10. After the completion went for nothing. 38 seconds to go. Fake to Von Check. Fumble! Saunders tried to hand it off to Madkins, and a bad exchange. Saunders does cover it, but it's a loss of 2. And now I think Pleasant Grove will be content just probably to let the clock run out, going to the locker room down by 8. But knowing potentially it could have been worse, remember Von Check with the interception in the end zone. Yeah, Pleasant Grove is going to watch the time tick down. I don't even know if they have to snap it one more time. I don't think they do. So it looks like it'll be an 8-point halftime score. There's Cody Vaz throwing one touchdown, running for another, looking for redemption this year and potentially looking to play in the state championship game next Saturday. That remains to be seen. But right now the Rams are up 8 as they head off the field. Another close section final in Division I. In this decade, 6 out of the previous 8 D1 finals have been decided by single digits. And we've got a good one brewing here. We're at the half. St. Mary's on top 22-14 over Pleasant Grove. We'll come back with half number 2 in just a bit. This is the D1 final on Comcast SJTV Sports. About set to go here in the second half. The Division I CIF Sac Joaquin Section Championship game, 22-14. St. Mary's at the half. This is how the scoring occurred. The Rams got on the board first. It was a quarterback keeper by Cody Vaz. They also got the 2-point conversion to go up 8-0. The ensuing kickoff, though, Jalen Saunders for Pleasant Grove plays quarterback, also plays a little on defense. In fact, he does it all for the Eagles. He takes the kick 76 yards for the score. The point after was good as well, 8-7 St. Mary's. Then Pleasant Grove would score again late in the first. The underneath double handoff to Russell Von Check, 11 yards. PAT was good, 14-8 Eagles. Jordan Davis on the little toss, that jumbo package look, he gets the touchdown. Rams score there. They go up by 1, and then late in the half, Louis Lekic, 19-yard reception with a dive there at the end. The Rams got that point after as well, and they lead here at the break 22-14. Louis Lekic coming through, 5 receptions in the first half for the Rams, and that touchdown as we look at the first half numbers. Pleasant Grove only threw 1 pass. That was right at the end of the half, and it went for no gain from Saunders to Madkins, and that's not surprising. We expected certainly the Eagles to keep it on the ground for the most part. They ran for 99 yards, much of that coming from Jalen Saunders, 3 carries for 69 yards for Saunders. His 41-yard run set up that second touchdown by Von Check. You see no passing yards, 3 penalties for the Eagles. St. Mary's did not commit a penalty. The turnovers won by Pleasant Grove. That was a fumble, really, when Saunders never quite got the ball, recovered by Sanguinetti. That led to that last St. Mary's touchdown. And then St. Mary's offensively, Cody Vaz, 14 of 22, 171 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. And he threw passes to 6 different receivers. One of those guys, though, Joshua Harper, went out with a high ankle sprain on the right ankle. His return right now is probably questionable at best. The Rams, though, certainly with a lot of other skilled guys, this is how the injury occurred. You see Kevin Harris bringing down Harper, and that ankle and that leg just kind of got caught underneath Harris there. And Harper did not play the rest of the first half. The training staff working on him, and the word we get right now probably be somewhat questionable, maybe even doubtful that he would return. There it is again. Doesn't look good, certainly right there, as Harper was taken down. And no question the Rams would rather have him on the field and in the game. I don't think you need me to tell you that, but at the same time, they have talented players in his place. A guy like Louis Lekic, certainly Alex Michaels coming through in that first half, couple grabs for him. Chaz Smith had 2 receptions, and the screen pass is working pretty well, with Guyton having 1 reception and a couple for Maurice Howes. The captains meeting here at midfield. St. Mary's will get it to start the second half, and so Harper, now he's on a crutch. I didn't see that until now, and he's on a crutch, so I would say that is a highly doubtful return for Josh Harper. So we got good information at the break. There's Harper, and so here in his junior season, the section final may be done for him. Again, this may not be the last game of the season for St. Mary's. They could play for a state championship next Saturday, 4 p.m. at the Home Depot Center. According to Mark Tennis from Cal High Sports, it seems like it'd be either St. Mary's or Casa Roble. Casa Roble has already won their section title last weekend in Sacramento. The Division III title, beating Inderkum in overtime. They're 13-0, but St. Mary's right now 11-2, probably a tougher strength of schedule, could finish 12-2. The Rams back here in the section final. As we look at the local teams who have played in the section final in this decade, it's been a remarkable run. There was a stretch where local teams never made it to the D1 final. 4 out of 24 years. That was the only time there were local teams. Stagg twice in the late 70s, and Tracy winning titles in 82 and 87. But since we've hit 2000, it's been local teams seemingly every year in the section finals here in Division I. In 2000, it was Lincoln winning the title in overtime, the first Stockton school. And since then, you see all the local teams, Lincoln losing, Edison losing, but a lot of close games, very good games. St. Mary's won the title in 2004, and the Rams now trying to make it 2 titles and be one of 3 teams from the South to have multi-titles. Tracy in 82 and 87, and Merced 89 and 90, the others. And so the Rams return it from the 1 with Chad West. Another strong kickoff by Greg Williams. There is a flag down, and West is only able to return it to about the 15. And we'll get a quick penalty call here to start the second half. The rest of the crew, along with Rich Ellis, the umpire is Vince Gallus, the head linesman is Larry Corral, the line judge is Joe Chavez, the back judge is Ron Weltmer, and Dave Harby is the alternate. And so they're going to wave it off, but St. Mary's only will start at the 15, leading by 8. Lost in the section final last year to Napa, 38-36. They had the lead late in the game, but a fumble was their undoing. Maurice Howes, not much there at all. Charlie Rodriguez bringing him down. Howes gets a yard when it's all said and done. 9th carry for him, 41 yards. Also a couple of receptions. The officials, promise them I mentioned this as well, looking for new officials for next season. New officials at NCOAFootballSouth.org is the website if you're interested. Cody Vaz, complete to Louis Lekic. Lekic, look at him, 5 for extra yardage. The Rams getting a lot of yardage after catch. The good old yak yardage up to the 27, it looks like, is where they're going to spot him. So it ends up being a little less than I had initially thought. An 11-yard gain for Lekic, who's having a fine ball game, maybe the best of the season. He's had a lot of good ones here in the second half. Now 6 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. Of course, the magnitude of the game helps as well. 182 yards for Vaz throwing. There's Jordan Davis spinning off a tackle. Von Check and others holding him up. But Davis, a fine gain near the 34. About 7 there for Jordan Davis, who has one of the 3 Ram touchdowns. Sean Schrock on her crew, along with Ron Castro, Chance McCurry, Maurice Patterson, Leo P.J. Gales, Amy Smith, Jeff Fry, our director Michael January, and I'm Eric Alves with you. Here, our 12th section championship game on SJTV since 2000. Toss back to Davis, about 2. And it will be a yard shy here, 3rd and 1. Jordan Davis, the 5'10 junior. Picked up his 13th touchdown. The Rams now 81 touchdowns on the season, and they snapped it with too many players on the field. Davis was running off, said, hold up. Vaz kept it and got the first down. There's too many players on the field there for St. Mary's. Some confusion for the Rams.
A dead ball, substitution.
First penalty against St. Mary's, but it hurts there. They had converted a 3rd and 1. Now it's going to be 3rd and 6. Mentioned the Rams scoring now 81 touchdowns on the season. Over 500 points, 530 to be exact. 336 for Pleasant Grove. Certainly they do it with a running game and a strong defense. Here's Vaz on 3rd and 6. Incomplete. Looking there to Chaz Smith. Goes incomplete, so big turn of events there for Pleasant Grove. St. Mary's had converted, but the penalty, because they had one too many players on the field, into traffic, Chaz Smith couldn't hold on to it, and so Alex Michaels will punt for the 2nd time in the game. St. Mary's 5 possessions in the first half, 3 touchdowns, a punt, and a pick. And that was huge there for the Eagles. If St. Mary's goes up by 2 scores, game's not over certainly, but they're fighting an uphill battle. Here's Jalen Saunders at the 41. Spinning around, Saunders is now held up by Shannon Clark, and he'll get the 47. So Pleasant Grove, fine field position to start here. They did lead in the first half, 14-8. They trail here by 8. Both teams played difficult schedules. This is the 10th game for Pleasant Grove against a playoff team. Michael Madkins, not much doing. Sanguinetti makes the stop, whether it be during the regular season or a team they played in the postseason. And their 6th game against a 9-win or more team, while St. Mary's went up against 9 playoff teams, and this is their 6th game against a team with 10 wins or more. Both teams certainly challenged. St. Mary's champions the TCAL, the Delta River, for Pleasant Grove, 2nd year in a row. Heisinger in there at quarterback, throwing to Saunders. Pretty short gain, 2, maybe 3. Just the 2nd pass attempt by Pleasant Grove. Saunders is an outstanding receiver, but of course had to go to quarterback once Taylor Congdon was injured. And for Saunders, his 13th reception of the year. We'll call it 3rd and 7. St. Mary's has continued to do a nice job against Michael Madkins, a guy averaging 167 per game over the last 7. Madkins 11 carries for just 20 yards. 3rd and 7 from midfield. Heisinger, the sophomore, hit as he throws, looking to Kevin Harris, and it goes incomplete. John Sanguinetti playing a fine game. Looked like he was the man that got to Heisinger as well. As I mentioned, Heisinger, the sophomore, he was called up after Congdon was injured. Now has thrown 17 passes on the season, and Saunders 25, so just 42 passes between those QBs for Pleasant Grove. And give them credit, losing their starting quarterback to still get to this game now, winning 8 in a row and being right in the mix. Williams to punt. He's had a couple of pretty good ones already in this game. Takes a bit of a St. Mary's bounce. We'll be down to the 23. 27-yard punt. I think the wind was a bit of a factor on that one for Williams, not quite getting the distance. So really, Pleasant Grove's only had one good offensive drive. And that was just 4 plays. The big play was 41 by Jalen Saunders. First half, St. Mary's ran 48 plays to 18 by Pleasant Grove. St. Mary's ran 27 in the first quarter. They ran 9 more than Pleasant Grove did in the entire half in the first quarter alone. 2 receivers to each side. Man in motion, fake to Lekic. It's Maurice Howes. And so Howes, a very nice gain on first down. It's going to be close to 9. And now there is a fumble. The officials say there was a fumble at the end. Wow. It looked like it was very late. I didn't see it come out. Pleasant Grove reacts, and that's the second turnover by St. Mary's. Howes did fumble once last week. I didn't even see a little skirmish. Sometimes you see that when there is a fumble, and Pleasant Grove gets it. That's huge. And so Pleasant Grove now with the ball at the 32 of St. Mary's, down by 8, and the game just changed right there. Back to Saunders. He'll throw deep. Has an open receiver. Amin. Drew Amin was open. It was a little long, so some trickery, a reverse with the toss back. And Amin was open, had a step. 8 grabs for him on the year. Couldn't quite hold it. Would have been a spectacular catch. You see at the tail end. And still not quite sure what happened on the fumble with Howes. You see the nice play call there. And Amin had that step there. Yeah, right off the fingertips. Would have been a fine play had he been able to hold on to it. 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Saunders goes in motion. Ball is loose. St. Mary's picks it up. It's Clark. Shannon Clark down the sideline. He's going to go the distance. 60 yards. Touchdown, St. Mary's. Shannon Clark goes 60 yards. It was knocked out of there by Josh Banks. He knocked it out of the hands of Jalen Saunders. And Clark goes 60 yards on the fumble return. The 3rd time he's taken a fumble back for a touchdown in his varsity career. One earlier this year against Edison and one last year against Stagg. A scoop and a score for Shannon Clark. So fumbles, 2 of them in a span of 3 plays. That was all Josh Banks knocking it out of there. The Ram loves that. And St. Mary's is up by 14, a chance to make it 15. With Villarreal, he's made a couple of point afters. And he has all 3. He has come back nicely after struggling each of the last 2 weeks in the playoffs. 29-14. St. Mary's. It was after the Rams fumbled and Pleasant Grove had the ball in great field position. You see the scoop by Clark. And really the only guy that needed to be blocked for St. Mary's was Garrett Heisinger. And there's 3 different Ram defenders who take care of that. And then Clark scores. Picked it up at the 40, goes 60 yards. And it was Josh Banks, though, who knocked it out of there. You see number 74, Josh Banks, just knock it out of there with a big-time play for the senior defensive tackle. And in talking with Joe Catalico this week, he said, hey, it's a game we want to play in the 20s, not much above that, low 20s. If it gets much higher than that, certainly that's where St. Mary's wants to play. And the Rams are already at 29, so it's going to take 30 to beat them. St. Mary's in 04, they scored 50 in the finals. Last year they scored 36. And in fact, the 04 finals when St. Mary's won 50-45, and last year when the Rams lost 38-36, the 2nd and 3rd highest scoring D1 finals ever. Only game topping that, 98, when Elk Grove won 77-22 over Atwater. The return from about the 7 by Kenny Taylor. Taylor, nice return across the 40. Andy Hurst brings him out, but not before Taylor returns it up near the 44. But Pleasant Grove with some work to do now. Down by 15 after the scoop and the score by Shannon Clark. Now 10 times this year Pleasant Grove has yielded 20 or under 20, I should say. They've given up 29 here. The most they've given up on the season is 33 to Folsom. The entire playoffs, the 3 previous games, they'd only given up 37. Saunders back in at quarterback, tosses to Madkins. Madkins, that's his best run of the afternoon. It'll be close to a first down. Malou Pinatani held him up. It may be enough for a first down. We'll see. It is, as the chains will move. Madkins, his 12th carry now just for 30 yards, goes for 10 there. You see how shifty he is, but St. Mary's has done a great job against him. The Rams did a pretty good job last week against Stephon Mathis, the outstanding running back from Merced. Of course, the week before, Michael Spanos went for 277 against them. 1st and 10 for Pleasant Grove. Fake to Von Check. It's Madkins. There's a flag. Copper Visa got a piece of him. And then Malou Penatani. What a difference he has made for this Rams defense. Directed by Dave Tipton, longtime Stanford assistant, 18 years in fact. Done a nice job coming in and running the defense. Here's Rich Ellis. And a hold as well against Pleasant Grove. And they're kind of in a dangerous area here, down by 15. Situation where they need some kind of points on this drive.
Holding, White.
And so the ball's going to go all the way back to the 45 and a half. It's going to be 1st and 20 here. 1st and 20. Quick snap, toss to Madkins. Clark giving chase. Michael Madkins about 10, so he gets back the holding yardage. Be 2nd down and 10. So Madkins getting going a little bit. 13 carries now for 40 for him. He went to Valley High School in Elk Grove last season, transfers to Pleasant Grove, and has become the man. Ironically enough, a season ago, Deontay Williams did the same thing. He transferred from Valley as a junior and went for over 2,000 yards. In fact, a monstrous season a year ago with 2,400 yards. Now at Northern Arizona for the Lumberjacks. 2nd and 10. Von Check takes it after he went in motion. A big hit there by the Rams. It's Louis Lekic doing it on defense as well. Stepping in there with Harper out. Shannon Clark a little slow to get up, hobbled a bit. Von Check gets the 40. It's 3rd and 5. Watch the end of this. Hurst held him up and finished off by Lekic. And so Shannon Clark has to come off now. As I mentioned, he was a little hobbled. Here's the end of it from up top. 3rd and 5. I think this is a pretty big play here for the Pleasant Grove Eagles. Trailing by 15 midway through the 3rd as the clock hits now 6:05 to go on the 3rd. Saunders looking at the play and whistles. I think a timeout may be called. Yep, timeout taken by Pleasant Grove. They're first here. So Pleasant Grove takes the timeout. Down by 15, facing a 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5. There's Dave Tipton talking to his defense. This is the tail end of the last play when Lekic had the big hit. Now let's see how the teams got here as we look at the playoff brackets. From the north, wins for Pleasant Grove against Fairfield, holding them to 12, their lowest total of the year. Then they beat Nevada Union. Nevada Union only scoring 18, and last week in the Battle of Elk Grove, winning at Monterey Trail High School, defeating Laguna Creek. In fact, there are 9 high schools in Elk Grove, if you can believe that. And you look at the South playoff bracket for St. Mary's. The Rams, 2 losses during the regular season. That meant they had to go on the road. The Rams won their first game in the playoffs against Los Banos at home, but on the road at Lincoln, they won by a point, and last week winning by 11 at Merced. 3rd and 5. Quick snap off the timeout. Saunders, complete. That's a 1st down up to the 30. Kevin Harris, he's tackled by Lekic, but he picks up 10 on the play. So Harris, the outstanding tight end, he's a two-way guy on the reception. Inside the 30 to the 29, and Jalen Saunders looked just fine there throwing it. He hasn't done it much, but certainly is capable. Is the junior quarterback. Toss, Madkins almost lost it. Carlo Cadonio drops Madkins for a loss of a couple. And that play didn't look good from the start as Madkins kind of bobbled it after taking the toss. Madkins now, as I mentioned, 10 out of 13 games he's gone over 100. His lowest total is 71. That was against Nevada Union, 83 against Elk Grove, and 98 the first time against Laguna Creek. There's that underneath double handoff to Von Check, and he slipped. Had a chance to go for more, but he slips. Probably gets back the 2 yards that Madkins lost. And I think we're looking at 3rd and 10 here for Pleasant Grove, with the clock now under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd. So in the end, if the Rams are able to win this one of the things certainly they will point to is the job the defense has done against Michael Madkins. He has terrorized teams this season. Third and long. Blitz coming. Sanguinetti gets to Saunders. John Sanguinetti has been very good in this game, and he sacks Saunders all the way back at the 38. It's a loss of 9 on the sack. Here it comes again. You see Sanguinetti on the backside. Saunders never saw it coming, the lefty, until it was too late. And so because it's 4th and 19, Williams going to have to punt here. Chaz Smith back there, and the ball will go out right at the 10. May have not quite gotten out of bounds, but right there it comes to a rest at the 10. So the St. Mary's defense does a nice job after the first down converted, the 3rd and 5 pass play to Harris. The sack in there, though, by Sanguinetti. And St. Mary's up by 15, gets the ball back. Rams winners of 23 of their last 26 games, and 2 of those 3 losses were by 2 points to Central this year and Napa last year. The only big loss was to Bellarmine earlier this season. Maurice Howes on first down. Look at him accelerate. Maurice Howes, first down, has that extra gear. He's a junior. It's going to be very good coming back next year. Kind of holding his hand. You see Howes, his right hand as he comes off the sideline. Picked up 13 there. 11 carries for 63. He's gone over 100 3 times this year. Howes takes it again. You see the defense trying to strip it there. Howes fumbled at the end of the last series. But then, of course, the Rams got it right back on the fumble by Shannon Clark for the touchdown. Rodriguez in on the play. Howes just a couple. We'll say 3. 2nd and 7. 2nd and 7. St. Mary's just one receiver out wide. There's a guy in the slot. That's Lekic. Cody Vaz gets rid of it the last second. He was almost sacked by Obadiah Johnson. And that's incomplete. May have been held, but it was out of bounds. 15 for 25 for 182, 1 touchdown, 1 pick for Vaz. Last year, 11 of 26, 266 yards and 5 touchdowns in the loss to Napa. 3rd and 7, 3:12 to go on the 3rd. Out of the shotgun, 3 receivers will go out here for St. Mary's. Chaz Smith hauls it in, first down, up to the 41. It's a 20-yard pass play. Look at the offensive line giving Vaz time, and when he can step into it, you see the little cushion there for Smith. His 3rd catch in the game now for 40 yards. Ray Guyton back in there offensively. Charlie Rodriguez brings him down for no gain.
Number 7, Ray Guyton, carrying the football. Stopped in there by number 7.
Cody Vaz over 200 yards on the afternoon. 3 times he's gone over 300 this year. 9 times he's been at 240 or more. Probably on his way to at least that mark. St. Mary's up by 15. 2nd down and 10. Lekic on the move. Louis Lekic takes a hit and he keeps going up to the 32. A 25-yard pass play. And just too much cushion given by Pleasant Grove. And then Lekic, look at him, he takes a big hit. 7 grabs for him for 109. That's the play again from up top. There's a flag as St. Mary snaps this one. You would think it's going to be against the Rams. We'll have to wait and see. Lekic 7 for 109.
Offside against the defense.
No, against Pleasant Grove, I beg your pardon.
5 yards, Vinny.
5th penalty against Pleasant Grove. St. Mary's has only had 1. Each team has had 2 turnovers. Now Lekic, 7 catches for 109, as I said. His average in the playoffs coming in, 7 for 108. That's eerie, right at it. And he's got a score. That was the catch again by Lekic. First and 5 after the penalty, Maurice Howes. Howes with the nice straight arm. And he'll have the first down. Looks like he'll get inside the 20, maybe to the 19. about 8. And Howes has been very effective. Didn't start the game. It was actually Guyton who did. 13 carries now for 74 yards. 9th time he's had 70 yards rushing or more. Shadows starting to creep onto the field. 1st and 10 Rams. It's Howes again. Stopped almost immediately. It was Drew Woodruff. Final 2 minutes of the third. Doug Koresko, the offensive coordinator for St. Mary's. He's up here in the balcony area out front of the press box. The press box condemned here at AA Stagg Stadium, but there's a balcony area calling the plays into Adam Pyle, the quarterback coach, who relays it to Cody Vaz. You see Vaz looking over. 2nd and 10. Vaz finds Smith, but immediately wrapped up by Wade Hampton. Forward progress will be up to the 13. It's about a 5-yard pass play. Now 4 catches for Smith for 45. 232 yards passing for Vaz. I mentioned Doug Koresko. He was the sophomore coach the first year Tony Franks came back as the head man. That was when Willie Tuitama, Tad Smith, and others were sophomores. Of course, they'd go on to win a title in 04. Jordan Davis. He'll be close, maybe just shy. It was a 3rd and 5. Davis, the short yard specialist. And Coach Frank said he wanted to bring some of those guys up. And Doug Koresko said, well, Coach, you know, hey, a little more seasoning. Of course, they beat everybody big time as sophomores and then won the title in 04. 4th and a yard. Vaz going for it. The extra effort may have gotten it. Peter Kelly had a piece of Vaz first. On a 4th and 1, remember St. Mary's converted 2 4th downs on their opening drive when they scored a touchdown. Pleasant Grove's saying it's short, but it may be a measurement. Oh, and it's not even a measurement. Rich Ellis says it's short. So St. Mary's with that quick snap with Vaz keeping it like they've done much of the season. Watch again. You see Kelly 31 comes in there. Now Vaz, he had some extra effort, but then he was kind of turned to the side, so the officials, without measuring, say it's short. And so Vaz doesn't get it. One more time, you see Jordan Davis trying to go with the bush push. But that's huge. St. Mary's turns it over on downs, and it's Greg Williams on the run as he gets about 9. St. Mary's, I don't know if they could have put the game away there, but it would have been very close to being over, I think, had they gone up by 3 touchdowns. 9 yards there for Greg Williams. Williams, that's his first carry of the game. 52 carries for 287 yards coming in. And they're going to measure this one. I was mentioning Doug Koresko, so Tony Franks said, hey, I made him my offensive coordinator, so Coach Koresko able to coach that class of guys, Willie Tuitama and others, for 3 straight years. Here's the measurement. And it looks like it is going to be enough for a Pleasant Grove first down. First down, so give Williams 10. And you look at that group for St. Mary's, John Estes now at Hawaii. He's playing in a bowl game, Willie Tuitama in the Las Vegas Bowl, taking on BYU. Doug Martin, J.P. Nisby at Boise State. They're playing in a bowl game. Tad Smith at Cal, the Emerald Bowl. Max Capello now at Dartmouth, all from that 04 championship team. The 08 team trying to add a championship. Devin Lagorio hits Williams, the ball carrier, immediately. A 1-yard gain. Lagorio, another one of the Rams who broke his hand. 4 different guys broke their hands this year for the Rams. Sanguinetti, Austin Joshua, who still has the cast on, Lagorio, and McGowan. And that will conclude the third quarter here in the Division I Section Championship game. St. Mary's up by 15, 29-14. We head to the fourth. Some work to do for the Pleasant Grove Eagles. We're back with the fourth in just a bit here on Comcast SJTV Sports. We start the fourth quarter here in the Division I CIF Sac Joaquin Section Championship game. St. Mary's on top of Pleasant Grove, 29-14. The 18th straight year the D1 final has been here at the University of Pacific. Most likely next year will be the last year it'll be at Pacific, moving on to UC Davis. Would have been there this year, but UC Davis has their winter graduation going on, and they thought it'd be too much. 20th overall D1 final here at Pacific. We've been here for a lot of good ones, 7th and 9th years we've seen here on SJTV. 2nd and 9 for Pleasant Grove as we start the fourth. And it's Greg Williams again, a third straight carry for him. We'll bring up a third down situation. 3rd and 5. Louis Lekic making sure the hat gear is all right. 3rd down and 5 for Pleasant Grove, down by 15. These third down conversions become crucial. We'll see if Saunders has to go to the air. It's actually Heisinger in there, and he tries to throw it to Von Check. He completes the pass. Von Check, what an effort by Russell Von Check with the stretch. He will have the first down. That was all Russell Von Check at 5'6". You see the determination there to pick up the first down. He ends up getting about 9 out of it. And so Heisinger in there now at quarterback. Von Check kind of ran into one of his own linemen as well. And able to pick up the first down. And Pleasant Grove, really with 11 minutes to go in the game situation where they have to have a touchdown, it would appear on this drive now. And at some point they're going to have to go for 2. St. Mary's shifts, and when they do that, Pleasant Grove jumps. Might have been Cody Kendrick. He didn't play last week. Concussion the week before against Nevada Union, but he's given it a go there this afternoon, as is Brian Beebe playing with that brace. Dislocated his elbow, and Coach Catalico said, you look at the x-ray of that, there's no way he should be playing, but guys just toughen it out. They realize the importance of this. Here's Pleasant Grove. Their 3rd year as a varsity team, 4th year as a school, the only school to get to the D1 final quicker. Golden Valley in 95 in their 3rd year as a school, 2nd as a varsity team. They lost to Jesuit and JT O'Sullivan 21-19. Williams, straight ahead. Capravisa, the tackler, he's been in on a lot of plays for St. Mary's. Gain of about 6. 6 penalties now against Pleasant Grove. St. Mary's only had 1. Each team 2 turnovers. 2nd and 9. Now, of course, St. Mary's on their last series, they had it 4th and 1 at about the 10. Didn't pick up the first down. Maybe could have put the game away. So second life here for the Eagles. 2nd and 9 at the 34. Madkins, nothing doing there. And St. Mary's has been outstanding against Michael Madkins, who's been outstanding all season long. Saris as they unpile. Also McGowan. He's a guy playing with 4 screws and a plate in his hand. A couple there for Madkins. So we'll say 3rd and 7. And Madkins 15 carries, 40 yards, 30 below his season low to this point. Here's that underneath handoff to Von Check. Russell Von Check. And look at Capravisa. Scott Capravisa with a big-time play. That's going to even be a loss of 1 on the play. And 4th down and 8. Capravisa comes through. His brother, of course, has stand out at St. Mary's the last couple of years. In fact, his brother kicked a 46-yard field goal in this game last year, right before the half. Now under 9 minutes to go. Williams to punt again. 3rd punt in 4 possessions in the second half for Pleasant Grove, and this one goes off the side of his foot. And it's going to be spotted, wow, at the 44-yard line. Ends up being a 4-yard punt. So St. Mary's with great field position and a chance to put the game away, I think, right here. Rams have had to go the entire second half and about 2/3 of the game without Joshua Harper, their outstanding receiver, a high ankle sprain on the right ankle, but Louis Lekic has come through big time, as has Cody Vaz, the Rams quarterback. Chaz Smith in motion. He takes the handoff. Got a block from Ray Guyton. Hurdles a defender. That was Von Check. And Smith has a nice gain. up to about the 37. 7-yard run for Smith. 2nd and 3. Situation here where St. Mary's really just has to take care of the ball. They're up by 15. They're moving it nicely with their offense. Just have to make sure they take care of the ball. Maurice Howes, the lone setback next to Vaz. Smith in motion again, fake to him. Howes takes it. Maurice Howes, look at that straight arm. He's very good with the offhand, and he'll have the first down. And move the chains for St. Mary's. 15 carries for Howes, 78 yards. Clock at 8:06 here in the 4th. 1st and 10, St. Mary's. Maurice Howes again. Von Check brings him down, but Howes gets to the 28, about 5 yards. And St. Mary's going to go to work with that ground game behind the offensive line. A couple of juniors in Schatz and Fletcher, and the seniors in Alonzo, Carl, and Banks. Howes, look at him, look for the opening. He's gone over 1,200 yards on the season as just a junior. That fly sweep fumbled by Chaz Smith, but he gets it back. Almost a disaster for the Rams. Obadiah Johnson was the nearest defender, and Smith loses the 5 back, so it's 3rd and 10. But at the same time, wow, almost a huge disaster for the Rams. They cover it. 3rd and 10, back at the 33, nearing 7 minutes to go on the 4th. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for St. Mary's as Vaz goes out of the shotgun. Looking down the field, Lekic, what a catch! Louis Lekic, first down. He gets up to the 18. That's a 15-yard pickup. Jordan Davis injured back near the 40. As good a catch as Lekic has had all afternoon long, it moves the chains. But Jordan Davis injured back near the 40. This is the play. Fired in there by Vaz, and Lekic snow cones it, holds on to it, and has the 15-yard reception. His 8th catch now for 124 yards. You see Davis walking off the field. Looks like he's going to be okay. Lekic had 9 against Lincoln receptions. That is his season high. 1 off that right here. 19 of 29 for Vaz, 247 yards. 1st and 10, St. Mary's. Maurice Howes on the carry, breaking a couple tackles, bringing tacklers along for the ride. Pettinger brings him to a halt at the 11 to maybe the 12 now. 6-yard gain, maybe even 7. We'll see. 2nd and a long 3, we'll say. Probably some more Maurice Howes coming up, too. Jordan Davis back in there, getting close to 6 minutes now. It is Howes again. Davis gave him a block. Howes tries to bang it back inside. Not much doing there. To the 10. We'll say 3rd and a long 1. Might be close to 2, but 3rd and a long 1. Howes over 90 yards rushing, probably 4 down territory. There's Shannon Clark, looks like he may be done for the day. 3rd and a long 1, short 2 here for St. Mary's. And Pleasant Grove, I think they jump. Vaz, the Wiley senior, I think he got him on the hard count. Yep. Rich Ellis signals against Pleasant Grove. That's their 7th penalty. St. Mary's has only had 1.
First down for.
And so it's going to be 1st and goal for St. Mary's and a chance to put this game away, already leading by 15. St. Mary's will have it at the 5. 1st and goal. Howes fighting. And they're going to give him the 1, it looks like, maybe even the half-yard line. So it's 2nd and goal from the 1. Is it the jumbo package and the toss to Davis, or does Vaz keep it? Now down to 5 minutes to go on the 4th. any kind of points here by St. Mary's, and this game's probably over. It does go back to Davis. He has a touchdown, his second of the game, and this one's probably in the books. The Rams hit 35 with 4:48 to go. Jordan Davis' second touchdown of the afternoon. He had one last week against Merced, 2 the week before against Lincoln, and 2 against Los Banos. That's 7 in the playoffs for him, and 14 in his last 8 games. And St. Mary's pitching a shutout defensively, it should be noted as well here in the second half. They've only yielded 1 touchdown. The other was on a kick return. Villarreal, and he continues to be perfect on the afternoon. 4 of 4 on PATs, 36-14 St. Mary's, and this one's all but over with 4:48 to go. In the D1 final, St. Mary's scored 36 a year ago in the D1 final. It wasn't enough there, but it's more than enough here. The touchdown, Jordan Davis, that jumbo package, almost automatic for the Rams. St. Mary's, their 5th touchdown of the game. Only 3 times this year they've not scored at least 5 touchdowns. They had 1 in the loss to Bellarmine, and 4 in their regular season game against Lincoln, and 4 in their loss to Central Catholic. And the question remains now, is this St. Mary's last game of the year, or do they play next week? Word is that it's down to them or Casa Roble. Whitney is also in the mix. They won their section title last night, and some people talk about Paradise from the Chico area, but Tony Franks, the head coach of the Rams, said he didn't want it to be a distraction this year, the possibility of state. He felt like it was a bit of a distraction last year when they lost to Napa, but they may play at the Home Depot Center next Saturday in the D2 State Bowl game. Potentially, it'll be announced on Sunday afternoon. And on special teams, a nice play there by Chad West, and the celebration can almost begin for the Rams. And most likely the team from the South in Division II is Cathedral Catholic. Cathedral Catholic from the San Diego area, and Tyler Gaffney, who may be on his way to USC, so they are very good as well. But it appears the Rams are going to win their 2nd section championship, matching the title they won in 2004. It'll be just the 3rd team from the South with multiple titles. Heisinger in at quarterback, Michael Madkins. That's his longest run of the game, and it's a fumble, and St. Mary's has it. The Rams will cover it, the 3rd turnover, and it's Devin Lagorio on the recovery. And you see Coach Franks react as well. His Rams now will move to 15-5 in the postseason over the last 7 years. Pretty remarkable. Winning 3 out of every 4. And there's Madkins. He just lost it on the way down. It was Saris to pop it out of there. Lagorio recovers it. And the Rams looks like they will win the turnover battle as well. See the excitement, a lot of guys bouncing around. And certainly if St. Mary's plays in a state title game next week, you wonder if they'll have the services of Josh Harper as well. That could be a factor in their level of success. Ray Guyton, although certainly a lot of guys came through big in his absence. Louis Lekic, one of his best games of the year, maybe considering the stakes, the best game he's had this year. 8 catches, also had to play on defense, 124 yards and a touchdown. Cody Vaz right near 250 again, threw a touchdown, ran for 1. Jordan Davis, a couple touchdowns. And Shannon Clark, I think his fumble return was huge right after St. Mary's had fumbled and given it up. That made it a 2-score lead, 29-14, and the Rams have not looked back since. 2nd down here, it's Guyton, the senior. Be about 1 yard to 2 yards shy here on 3rd down. As some of the Pleasant Grove fans starting to head for the exit. Certainly a great run for the Eagles, an 8-game winning streak, 21-4 over the last 2 years, but looks like they've met their match here in the St. Mary's Rams. And you would certainly think this score, 36-14, may sway the section commissioners, the 10 commissioners who are the ones that determine who play in the state bowl games as well. While Casa Roble, although they're undefeated, they had to go to overtime last week in their section final against Inderkum. 3rd and a couple. Davis Jordan Davis moving forward. I think it's going to be enough for the first down. It is. And so St. Mary's may not give the ball up. Nearing 3 minutes now to go here in this D1 final. The Rams scored first. They trailed briefly at 14-8. But they got 2 scores before intermission to go up 22-14. Got all their PATs and a 2-point conversion. That's part of the reason why they lost to Napa last year. Missed a PAT and a 2-point try. Toss back again to Davis. Tackled there by Charlie Rodriguez, who has played well. And again, fine season for Pleasant Grove. Just their 3rd year as a varsity team. To get to this level is very impressive. But St. Mary's now winning for the 24th time in their last 27 games. 2 of those losses, 2-pointers. They've been to 5 out of 6 semifinals. The only team that's done better than that is Cordova. In the late 70s, went to 6 out of 7. There's Coach Franks. He said this was his plan, certainly to be this successful as anybody would be, but to accomplish this when he came back to St. Mary's, to his alma mater. 7 straight playoffs, 5 out of 6 semis, 3 out of 5 years in the D1 final, which doesn't happen really in the South. Certainly Elk Grove and teams of those ilk. Cordova won 4 straight in the North, but in the South, St. Mary's on as good a run as anybody. It'll be 2 titles in 5 years and a 2-point loss. Not that far away from being 3 titles in 5 years for St. Mary's. And they may have 1 more week to play. There's Jordan Davis, couple touchdowns for him. St. Mary's took a timeout to make sure they had everything straight. And got to give Tony Franks and his staff a lot of credit to play at this high of a level. There's Joshua Harper with the hood on now. And you would hope, certainly, if St. Mary's does play next Saturday, that he'd be available. You want to be at full strength, no question. And I think because guys like Lekic and Chaz Smith played so well, there is no reason to even kind of force Harper back in there. Now, certainly if he couldn't go, you would never force him back in there, but not to even entertain it for a second because of those other guys. Second down here for St. Mary's. They toss it to Maurice Howes. He needs a lot of credit as well in this game, or deserves a lot of credit, I should say. As he came in after Guyton got the start, coming off a game last week when he played well, but also had a fumble. And he's going to be right near 100 yards for the game. Lekic, of course, a big-time guy. Shannon Clark in that fumble return. Scott Copperviza, very good on defense. And it looks like it's all going to add up to a 36-14 St. Mary's win. We'll see. Potentially they could tack on some more points here with 1:55 to go. 3rd and about 8. I would think they're still going to keep it on the ground. And I guess all that remains is if the Rams are going to get Tony Franks wet with the Gatorade bath. 3rd and 8. No, Vaz will throw. Looking to Lekic. On the fade, a little too far. It goes incomplete. 30th pass attempt by Cody Vaz. Now, if you're St. Mary's, do you go for it here or do you try the field goal? A bit inconsequential, up by 22, but a field goal, you know, if it gets blocked and returned and things get a little messy, I think they're going to go for it here, and probably the right decision. Shannon Clark, you see him injured as well, and the guys looks like they're tracking down the Gatorade. Yep. So here we go, 4th down and 8. Late arriving player is Chaz Smith. So St. Mary's has to take another timeout. So Adam Pyle is going to go out there and get things straightened out with the Ram offense. And Tony Franks, I think, is going to be a marked man. And there he is. He's looking around. He better be careful, or his guys are going to get him. Coached at St. Mary's as the head man, 84-86. His alma mater, 26 years old. And he said, hey, I didn't know what the heck I was doing in the beginning, and then went on to be a collegiate assistant at Santa Clara first, and then UC Davis. 11 years at UC Davis before coming back to St. Mary's in 2002. And, of course, he jokes when he says he didn't know what he was doing in 84 when he's 26 years of age. There's no question he knows what he's doing, as does his entire staff, as St. Mary's is a tough team to beat. And it's starting to look like that game 2 weeks ago against Lincoln might have been the de facto section final, 32-31, with St. Mary's winning there, coming from behind by 12. That's the signature win of this season for them. 4th down. Vaz, and he's going to be sacked. Vaz is sacked by Devin Young. And early on, Pleasant Grove got some pressure on Vaz, but in the middle part of the game and the rest of the game, he had all kinds of time to find his multiple open receivers. Should be noted, Randy Rubiales is the sophomore coach of the football team at Pleasant Grove. Of course, his father, Jim, the head man over at Lincoln, and quite a run for the Trojans this year. There are only 2 losses, a 6-point loss and a 1-point loss to St. Mary's. Shows you just how close it was that Lincoln might have been in this game. But the Rams certainly the better team here. In the final, they're going to be the champions. Jalen Saunders, he tried to do all he could for Pleasant Grove, but it's not going to be enough. Von Check is drilled by Andy Hurst, and that Ram defense only giving up 1 touchdown. The other on the kick return. Last week against Merced, Merced had 17 at the half. They only gave 1 touchdown in the second half. The defense certainly has gotten better with only 2 returning starters in Banks and Harper. Malou Penatani, the addition of him was very big as well. Second and a couple. Saunders is hit as he tries to throw. It's going to be an incomplete pass. And it'll be third and a couple. Now, 3 of the last 4 years, it's been a first-time D1 champion. In 04, St. Mary's won for the first time. 05, it was Nevada Union. They've won multiple titles. But 06, Vacaville for the first time, and last year, Napa for the first time. The Rams will put an end to that streak, now winning their second title. As I mentioned, in the South, it's just them, Tracy, and Merced is the only multiple section finalists, winners. There's Greg Williams. Looks like he'll have the first down. And in the North, Cordova, Elk Grove, Grant, and Nevada Union have all won multiple titles. 5 each for Cordova and Elk Grove, 4 for Grant. Of course, now they're in Division II. 3 for Nevada Union, and then teams with 2, Christian Brothers, Jesuit, Vintage, and then in the South, Merced, Tracy, and now St. Mary's. Saunders on first down, incomplete, looking to Von Check. Scott Copperviza was over there. There is the Gatorade bucket, and there's Greg Franks, the son of Tony Franks, going to try and get his dad. Look, a lot of strategy involved with the Gatorade toss, no question. There's other guys trying to kind of talk to Coach and get him bunched up. And Coach Franks, oh, he sees it coming, I think. Cody Vaz over there talking to him. Yeah, Tony Franks, he's been around this block before. See, look, Vaz trying to give him the hug. I think Coach Franks knows better. On second down, the pass is caught. And Coach Franks got doused kind of as that play was happening. And getting a hug from his son as well, which is very cool. He got wet. He saw it coming, though. I think he kind of just took it like a man and gets the big hug from his senior quarterback, Cody Vass, who's been phenomenal over the last 2 years. And Saunders lost the ball. Looks like the Rams are going to get it again. And I think it's Lagorio again. It is his second fumble recovery. You have to go back 3 years when Cody Vaz, as a sophomore, was called up to the varsity. Didn't play much until late in the year in a playoff game against Merced, but backed up Pete Murdoch. And here's the Gator. We got it on replay. Love that. They got him pretty good. Coach's son an accomplice on that one. But I think that's all when it started, certainly for Vaz to get that experience and then showing through here, going back-to-back finals. And getting the title, I know it means a lot to Vaz and certainly all the other guys that were on last year's team to come up so close and not get the title, but win it emphatically here in 08, 36-14. Vaz ends up throwing for right at 250, ran for one, threw for another. He'll take a knee, and that will do it. The St. Mary's Rams are the Division I champions in 2008. And their season may not be done. They may play for the state championship next Saturday at 4 p.m. at the Home Depot Center in Carson, California. That remains to be seen, but they know at the very least they are D1 champions. Tony Franks, another title for him, matching the one that he won in 04 as the Rams head coach. A well-deserved championship for him and St. Mary's. They improved to 12-2. 9 wins in a row for St. Mary's. The only losses to Bellarmine, a section champion, and Central Catholic, a section runner-up. Well, it may not have been as dramatic as the 04 title or even last year's loss, but St. Mary's certainly the better team here in Division I out of 37 teams in the Sac Joaquin section.